Today we are going to use angle properties to solve problems with equations. To solve for a missing value, you are going to complete 3 steps. The first step is to identify the types of angles given. The second step is to determine key information or identify key information. And then the last step is to set up an equation to solve for the variable. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 examples. For each problem, we're going to solve for the missing value, and we're going to show our work when solving the equation. So with this first example, we're looking at 2 angles that are next to each other. They share this ray right here, and that means they're adjacent. But I also noticed this little box, which means it's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. So if these 2 angles together equal 90 degrees, they are also complementary. So because these are complementary, my key information is that the sum is 90 degrees. And then my last step is to write an equation. So x plus 20 equals 90 degrees. And now I'm going to solve that equation. So x plus 20 equals 90 degrees. And this is a simple one-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides. And 90 minus 20 is 70. And 20 minus 20 equals 0. They cancel out, so I have x equals 70 degrees. Okay, now we're going to move on to example 2, which is a different type of angle. If I look at this, these angles are opposite each other, and that means they are vertical angles. The key piece of information that you need to know about vertical angles are that they are equal. So half of our equation is set up because we have this expression over here, and because these are equal, then I'm going to set my expression equal to 50. So 2x plus 25 equals 50. And now I'm just going to solve this 2-step equation. So I subtract 25 from both sides, and 50 minus 25 is 25. 25 minus 25 equals 0. That leaves just 2x equals 25. And now because 2 times x, we're dividing. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. 2x divided by 2 is 1, just x. 25 divided by 2 is 12.5. Okay, so now we have 2 examples on the back. We're going to start with the third example, and we're going to be doing the same thing, solving for the missing value by writing an equation. So looking at this third example, when I look at these 2 angles, I see this straight line right here. And because these 2 angles inside form a straight line, they are supplementary angles, and they're also adjacent because they share this ray. So they're adjacent and supplementary. And one key piece of information is because they are supplementary, the sum is 180 degrees. So now I need to write an equation. And I have this expression right here, 5x plus 5, plus this angle over here, the 60 degrees, add up to 180 degrees. So my equation is equal to 180. So now we need to solve the equation to solve for the missing variable. But before I begin solving it, I need to combine my like terms, which would be 5 and 60. So positive 5, I'm going to use that addition sign in front of my 5, plus 60 is 65. And then the 5x stays, so 5x plus 65 equals 180. Now we just solve it like a typical 2-step equation, and we're going to subtract 65 from both sides. And 65 minus 65 is 0. This cancels out, which leaves just 5x. And 180 minus 65 is 115. And now my last step, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. 5x divided by 5 is just 1x. And 115 divided by 5 is 23. Okay, so now we're going to look at our last example. And if I look at these, I don't have any information. It doesn't look like a 90-degree angle, and it does not form a straight line like the last one, so they're not supplementary. But I do notice that these two angles share a ray right here, so that means they are just adjacent angles. And now my key piece of information is this right here. This little m means the measure of angle x, y, z. This whole angle altogether is 50 degrees. So that is my key piece of information. So what that means is this angle right here, x, y, w, which also is 2x, plus 30, this w, y, z, this 30-degree angle, adds up to 50 degrees. So that is our equation right there. Now I just need to solve the equation 2x plus 30 equals 50. And we're going to solve it like every other two-step equation by subtracting 30 from both sides. And 50 minus 30 is 20. 30 minus 30 is 0. It cancels out. That leaves just 2x. 2x equals 20. Because we're multiplying 2 and x, we're going to do the inverse and divide both sides by 2. 2x divided by 2 is just 1x. And 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10.